might go to Oklahoma City today. You want to come? Okay. Get it?
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't steer you wrong. No bull. We're going to Oklahoma City.
Yep.
This is the big Texan. We stayed like 50 meters away from that last night. And Merv didn't make it. He didn't get out of bed, then he got to the bar and he didn't make it 50 meters to the biggest stake challenge in the world, I think it was. But we had a good time, Michael, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
We went to a campfire in a very cool canyon, Palo Duros Canyon, I think it was. So today we're off to Oklahoma City. We're going to catch up with a really great friend of mine, Shane Carson, one of the legendary Oklahoma sprint car wheelers. Then on to Andy Hillenburg's place and catching up with Andy, who was one of the superstars of the World of Outlaw game. And then, Michael, fancy some meatloaf for dinner? We're going to Kimberly Norwood Stewart's place and Clint Ramsey's to check out some real bronc riding, some real professional horse training stuff, onto a ranch, if Dad makes it, sounds like he's dying back there, and have a bit of a chat with Kimberly and catch up. So big day on the road. Let's go. Best day. Hanging out in Oklahoma, went to Shane Carson's house, and what a shrine he's got in there, Michael.
Oh, that is, it was unreal, it was awesome.
Just so much memorabilia and so many memories and so many incredible photos and newspaper clippings, and his memories are quite incredible. Drove up the road about an hour and 50 minutes up to Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, and caught up with Andy Hillenburg, and we talked about his incredible passion for classic American cars.
He had a couple.
Oh, and then his son Drew just walked in the middle, and we had a chat with him, and Dee came in as well towards the end, and best day. Oh, it's such a blast today. I can't wait to show you Shane Carson's house and his story, and a very surprising skill that we didn't know that he had. And then Andy Hillenburg on tomorrow's show. I think we'll put Andy on for tomorrow because there's a lot to absorb with that. But for now, Shane Carson, he's a World of Outlaws sprint car legend. He's a mentor to young drivers throughout America. He's a great promoter, has run many of his own events, including the race that tributes his dad, the Bud Carson Memorial. He's a proud husband. He's a proud granddad. There you go, get the plug in.
We got a hat.
We got the Marcar cap as well. He's a Hall of Fame and museum supporter and an incredibly tireless worker for the sport right across the country. And he's a tremendous man. Let's catch up with Shane Carson. I think you're really going to love this. Wait to see his collection.
For almost 40 years, Metro Auto Spares has been serving Tasmanians with great parts, at great prices and with great service. This proudly Tasmanian born and bred business carries nearly 150,000 line items. They've got everything you need to get your pride and joy or your daily driver spick and span or back on the road. They've got the range and they've got the know-how. For all your automotive parts requirements in Devonport and Tassie, contact Danny, Rachel and the team at Metro Auto Spares. You can find them at 11 Wenbo Street or phone 6424 7722. Metro Auto Spares. They're the team that cares.
Come on in, Wade.
Oh, well, hi, Shane Carson. How are you, mate?
I'm doing good.
Welcome to the road to Knoxville.
Hey, I'm on my way too. I'll be there Sunday.
You can just jump in with us if you like.
Yeah, I gotta wait.
Yeah, fair enough. You need to hang out with your beautiful wife and your daughter and your grandbabies. Wow. This is the Shane Cave.
It is that.
It's kind of like a man cave, but a Shane cave, and there is so much cool stuff in here. You just close those doors in here. Let's have a bit of a...
overwhelming, I'm afraid.
It is.
But, for me, it is a part of my life that, that made me want to do what I'm doing. And that's continuing.
So let's start up here.
That's my dad's company. It was the Marcar Company, and those are all of his employees. And
I never knew that Marcar was named after your mum.
that's right. Yeah, Mary Carson. That was something that they didn't tell everybody, but that Marcar Company was from '57 until it's still here. We just don't have a track.
Look at this. So these are all the events that he promoted,
he different types of cars that he ran: motorcycle races, drag cars.
I love that.
You name it. Great times with having Dad around. Unfortunately, I lost him in '91. But through the years, it's been really good. That particular Merry Christmas, that come from Larry Lee. That is Troy Lee Design's dad.
Wow!
And every year he would send me a new Christmas card. So there's a lot of memories here that really, nobody would ever see unless you come over.
So there's so many places to start in this incredible picture.
Yeah.
Can I just start here for a second?
You sure can.
Who's that?
That was my modified car in Tulsa at the time. I was sponsored by Taco Boy, so everybody thought I was Mexican.
Well, can I just say,
like that.
I was just going to say, mate, I have to say, some of these pictures when you're running your fro.
Yeah, the big hair.
And the mustache, this shot particularly here, you could be a Pancho or someone like that, right?
Yeah. So, that's where that came from. But that car was really what got me going good enough to where sprint car people thought about maybe asking me to drive for them. And the first one was Laverne Nance. So when I took off and drove for Laverne Nance, that opened the door, and that's where it went. So it was a great experience for me.
We're going to be out of order a lot of things, but there's the original Outlaw.
Yep.
Rick Ferkel.
Rick Ferkel and I were very close through the years and still are.
This photo here is just iconic. I'll try and hope there's not too much reflection there. So that's Rocky Hodges just there. You've got the kangaroo.
Yep.
Some kid called Jeff Gordon. Whatever happened to him?
Yeah, that kid's good. He's got the tail.
And that's actually Jeff's car in the background. That wing.
Is the 16 car. John Bickford brought that car, and we had a great time down there that year.
That's Danny Lasowski there, believe it or not, with hair at Claremont Speedway.
For Con Migro at the Claremont, and you were there.
Yeah. I was a spectator only then. I wasn't involved. I just love this.
That Agajanian shot was when I got I won a few races, and J.C. Agajanian would look for the guy that won the last race and bring him out and put him in his car. So I was the guy that time, and that was the Pacific Coast Nationals at the end of '78. So that was a great time for me to have won right before, which was Eldora in the Nichols Brothers car.
And of course, you're great friends with this family, right here with the King, and absolutely, and Kyle Petty.
Barry Graham.
Yes.
Was the GM or owned the company, the Rich Petty Driving Experience, which I got into.
Yep.
And I ran with them, and I did that for 10 or 15 years. So
Barry's a tremendous Australian story on his own. How he revolutionised that whole driving experience concept.
Yep. And Mindy, his daughter, good friends with her. It was just a great experience for me.
So this is very cool.
Yeah, that's an old Outlaw poster that was done by the Paul Nerum company out of California, and they did those, and it was a very, very hot item. That 20 car there is the one that's in the museum right now, and that is the car that I won my first championship with at Knoxville.
So good.
Restored.
So good. Look at that. Now that's a reasonably cool painting or sketch, isn't it?
Yeah, really, the pushing the cushion shot. It's one of those Knoxville items that that was brought to me to sign, and then that guy gave me one of them.
So good. The $12 car, without a doubt, is one of your more iconic rides, particularly late in your career,
right. The $12 car, the last one I had was James Helms out of Texas. He was my owner for 10 years.
Wow.
He passed away in 2000, and that's when I basically quit racing full time. He was a great guy.
Wow.
The original $12 car, that one right there, was the Tom Garrett Farms car out of Byers, Oklahoma. Great guy. I ran it for about 3 years.
There's that Mexican look at him. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
The preacher right alongside you.
Yep, I learned a lot from Patterson. He basically taught me what the rules meant at West Capitol. In 1978, we were running for a transfer out of the B, and they had a yellow. I let off. Patterson ran over me and told me that you don't let off for the yellow here, kid.
You just race all the way to the...
Race to the yellow.
Wow.
And I learned that, but I learned it by turning over.
There's a guy. Some guy called Parnelli Jones.
He's a great guy, too. He has been going through some medical issues, but he's doing well right now.
Good.
I try to keep up with him and see how he's doing all the time.
Mate, I must admit, I'm a bit surprised about this. I didn't realise you were such a wine connoisseur, Shane.
Well, I've got about 500 bottles in that collection, and I've been working on that for years. But it's just something that we've gotten close to.
There's a lot of wine there. There's a lot of wine. Wow, look at that. The Vice Grip number 20 car.
That shot was from the second year World of Outlaw finale at Eldora.
I was going to say, I think that's Eldora.
And that was a big one. It was the second one in a row that I'd won. But that one there, we really put it on him. It was a good race for us. 51 car Richard Tharp, drag racer out of Dallas or out of Texas. And he was a really great owner. I almost won the first King's Royal with that car.
Did Wolfie run the Vice Grip car at one point?
He did. He ran the first, he ran it with Speedway Motors, and then they took that sponsorship to Trossel. And then when Wolfie left Trossel, that's when I ended up in that car.
Manzi.
That's the Manzanita shot with the Tom Garrett car.
Now, this in the corner, that makes me very excited. Friday night is Speedway night, as Con would say.
Yep, that's the way I remember it.
Yeah.
I think you may have given me that poster back in the 80s or 90s, early 90s.
Wow, there's so much
these are World of
history.
Outlaw posters from my Oklahoma City events, and then on down to the right are the posters when my dad was putting on the races here. So he was in the business from 1957 until 1991.
So that's clearly where you learnt a lot of, how to promote and.
I kind of wonder if I paid enough attention, and I miss having him around to give me some guidance. But I feel like that was probably what really got me into it.
Shane, I have to say to you, mate, that your dad would be extremely proud. I didn't know him when, obviously, he was around, but there's no way he could not be proud of you as a man, as a promoter, as a father, as a husband, and as a granddad, because what you do is class. I was telling my dad here on the way that you're one of the most genuine and real people that I know. And I know a lot of people like you, mate.
Yes, you do. Thank you. I appreciate it.
So, your dad would be very proud of his little Mexican son.
Dad was a promoter that he could take any part of the job and do it. He was like, he could announce like you. He could work the track like Earl Baltus. He could do whatever it took.
Do you know one of the best announcers I ever heard was actually Earl Baltus' son?
Terry Baltus.
Terry Baltus
was very good.
The way he used to announce Doug Wolfgang, oh, he would do that.
What he would do to us and Doug Wolfgang included, he'd say, Doug Wolfgang, full-time racer. You remember that?
Yep.
He would tell what the job you had.
Yes.
Full-time plumber. Whatever it had to be. But
Con would say, multi-millionaire businessman from Osborne Park.
That's right.
And there's the program from. You better turn your little center spread around.
This is from the first time I got to go to Australia, and you were Barbara Geller was in there. Some of the guys that we raced against were very, very. They were some stout competition right there.
Yeah, Jeff Tuttle. Well, there's another one. Yeah.
Yep. And the Aussies were very, very good. This was in '84 when I was driving for Richard.
That's Gary Rush there at Knoxville. I'm pretty sure in the Gambler car.
So the deal that they put together for me, this was one of the career highlights, and that shot there, those were some pretty good ones. So that would have been for the 1984 or the 1994 shot when we went over there. Is that right?
No, this would have been 87.
87. You're right.
The Festival Cup, America's Cup Festival of Sport.
And that was the big one that we had the boat race going on and all. Yeah. That was a cool.
That was when we beat you in the America's Cup, man. Right? Just get that right, okay? You took it back directly after us.
Yeah, we tried to come get it. That's right. Dennis Conner was there with the
Dennis Conner drove like a late model sedan.
Yeah, he came over to us and brought one of his crew guys that was from Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And he was a friend of mine from home. So that was a great time to be racing in Claremont.
Cool shot here, mate. You got to be proud of this one.
I really am. That's my very first outlaw promotion in 1980. Doug Wolfgang won it. Bobby Allen was second. It was 100 degrees at 10 at night.
Wow.
And, Doug Wolfgang, he's soaked, but he did not slow down, I can promise you.
Now, there's a photo question without notice. We'll try and find it soon that you showed me. All the candles, by the way, are courtesy of your lovely wife, Debbie.
That's right.
You're not a candle person. And the duck.
Yeah, the duck. Yeah, the duck was given to me by Brad Knopfsinger.
Badass non-wing racer.
Yes,
Him and Kerry Fast are my two favourites.
No
they were always on the right front wheel.
Oh, no,
there was never four wheels on the ground.
No. Well, Knopfsinger gave me that duck, and he was coming through Oklahoma City to move his mom back to Charlotte. And I met him up at the gas station with me and my grandbaby Rosalind. And she saw that duck in the truck. She goes, Papa, there's a duck in that truck. And I looked up there, and of course it was a porcelain duck, but she didn't care. She wanted to hold it. So I let her hold it. Well, when Knopfsinger left to go on his way, he took the duck with him. And she cried and was so sad. But later on at the Chili Bowl the next year, he actually brought that to me. So it's with us now.
There's no longer a duck in the truck.
No.
So the picture I was thinking about was an iconic photo of yourself. I think everyone was there. There's Wolf, Sammy, Steve. Sammy even looks remotely relaxed.
Yeah. He's got on that super white uniform.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I think that was on the wall at Eldora or somewhere.
No, it was on the wall at I-70.
Oh, right, okay.
It was a World of Outlaw show, a day show that was filmed by TNN.
Wow.
And we were all sitting on the wall, and that picture, I do remember it. You know, we were all there.
Super cool.
This area here is kind of a Hall of Fame area. We've got, my dad's Hall of Fame induction plaques right here. He was inducted in 2003. I was inducted in 2007.
So he was driving the grader, he was doing the announcing, he was doing the press.
That's what I was telling you. I mean, he could do that. You know, the Hall of Fame plaque here, this is the Knoxville Hall of Fame, which is separate from the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame.
Yes.
So, I was inducted into that into 2001, and that's Jeff Swindell's daughter.
I was just going to say that right there. Absolutely. Now, she was great friends with a young man that I met at your race in 2000, who was a very, and you've got a shot of him somewhere here in Ryan Craighead.
Ryan was on his way, and Ryan was one of those kids that I was trying to make a difference in his career.
Yep.
Some guidance and helping him. I do that right now. I do it with some of the drivers here from Oklahoma City and Tulsa. But Ryan got killed on a motorcycle, and that was a really, really sad day. But
who's that guy?
That would be Casey Kane.
Yeah, right. Whatever happened to him?
He's still around.
Mate, let's use this opportunity real quick to send a word of encouragement to someone that's very special to you.
Well, we've got a situation right now. His name is Grady Chandler. He was in a crash on Friday night at Creek County Raceway. The car went upside down, and when it landed, it got into the mud, and it just shoved down on his head.
Yeah.
So he broke 1, 2, 3, 4 vertebrae and crushed number 5.
Right.
So they're in the process right now of, getting him up and trying to get him moving and seeing where we're at. He's in the hospital at St. Francis in Tulsa.
Okay, so his name is again?
Grady Chandler.
So Grady, we're just sending out the love to you, mate. And you're going to be okay, and you're going to get your life back in order one day. And one day we're going to put you on the road to Knoxville as well and talk about it. So
he was on his way.
Get well, young man. All right. So over here is some cool stuff. Over here is cool stuff. How about this? For all the young people out there, that's called a cassette recorder. What tape is in there?
That's probably.
Come on, open it up. What's in there?
Okay.
It's a blank one. You obviously made it yourself. What is it? Oh, look.
Oh man, it's not even any good.
Get it though. So have you got a pen? We need to show kids what you used to do. See that? Pick up the. What is it?
Molly Hatchet, Jay Giles Band.
Wow.
There you go.
So if you need a pen, we need to show kids.
Oh, I know.
Because this used to happen, right? This is like what this is a prehistoric CD, right? This is before you had SoundCloud and or Spotify, and you used to have to spin, put the biro in there.
Oh yeah.
And you would spin it. So this is educational. The road to Knoxville. We're teaching you how to.
Let's see if we can do that with this.
Was the Sharpie going to fit in there?
Oh yeah.
There you go. And the worst thing that you could do was leave it up the back of your car in the sun.
Oh, yeah.
Because your cassettes, some of the best cassettes I ever had ended up mulched.
See, it's whining it, but it ain't happening.
Show me that ring. What is that blue ring on there?
That is a High Banks Hall of Fame induction ring. That's from Belleville, Kansas. That was 2000.
And the other one? On the
2010. And this right here is an NCRA championship ring. We won that championship in '87 with that Gambler house car right there, the yellow one.
Where's your wedding ring?
I use it. I still have it. I alternate between.
Now, I've got to show people a side of you that I didn't know existed either. We're going to go through these doors. In a minute, I'm going to show you what does this man and Elton John have in common. So look at this fresh-faced Oklahoma youngster. So I got to show you. This is what Shane has in common with Elton John, or should I say Billy Joel? I didn't realise you could play this.
Yeah.
Actually, hang on. There's your Elton John.
Okay. Here we go. Okay.
Is your pop crazy?
Anna.
Chopsticks for me?
You know what that is?
No.
That one, that first one was. That first one was Beatles.
You continually amaze me, Shane. Oh, wow. There will be an answer.
Nice.
Nice. Thank you, Elton.
That's it.
Let's go outside. You got something cool in your shop out there, haven't you?
You bet. I got it.
Yes, dude.
Oh, it's like a candle in the wind. So,
Okay.
What are you going to show me?
I want to show you something here right here. This is the very first Eldora World Outlaw finale. That was 1978. I won the race, and Earl would not give me the crown. So we came back the next year. I was driving for Bob Trossel, and I won it again. He gave me the crown that time,
Oh, right, so you had to get it twice.
along with the big trophy.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that was a good time.
All right, let's go. I want to show people something.
4 back-to-back nights of sprint car racing at Knoxville Raceway. Thursday, August 1st through Saturday, August 3rd. It's the 29th annual My Place Hotels 360 Knoxville Nationals presented by Great Southern Bank. And Sunday, August 4th, it's the Bell Helmets Capitani Classic presented by Great Southern Bank. 4 back-to-back nights of sprint car action. Get your tickets online now at KnoxvilleRaceway.com.
They're in the backyard at Shane Carson's place in Yukon, Oklahoma. Did they name the car the Yukon after you?
I think they might have. I don't know. What do you think?
We'll just say it's good for the story. Never let the facts get in the way of a good story. Oh, no, that's a great pot plant. Yeah.
Not just everybody has those.
That's either a road racing tire or a really bad night at Eldora.
NASCAR driver.
There you go.
Okay. Now, in here you'll see a collection of different things. That was my very first race car up on the wall.
Where am I looking? Which one?
Right there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that was a real part of that car. It was a 6-cylinder Chevy. Motorcycle.
The Black Crows is playing on the radio. Can you turn that down for me? Do you know where that is? It's all right. Pop will do it for you. It's a cool song, though. Pretty little thing, let me light your candle, because, Mama, I'm so hard to handle now.
Okay, my motorcycle collection, of course, is my
Look up here.
a lot of
Wow.
my favorites. But yeah, the motorcycle buddies that I raced with. And
Trey Kennard up there. Yep.
Trace Smoke.
Because one of the coolest Oklahoma motocross races I know is Guy Cooper.
Yeah, that's right.
He came and raced. Do you know he raced at the Claremont Speedway
I remember that.
Supercross?
Tell me about that.
Yep.
We did talk about it after Con reminded me, and I got
Yeah.
hold of him. Because Trey usually comes to our race reunions that we have
Wow.
here in Oklahoma. So
Look at the
the bikes.
the little Honda down there.
Yeah, the XR80 was my pit bike in the 80s, and it still runs. We ride it. Good to go. 12 cents. The Road King, I can take, or the Ultra Classic, I take it on bike rides with buddies. You know, we'll take
Cool.
We'll go do the Bikes, Blues, and Barbecue up around Arkansas.
So you're a wild hog, Shane.
I don't really do that, but you know.
What is behind you? What's this looking? Is this like playground equipment?
Now this little car is something that I drove at Knoxville, and they immediately outlawed it. And Laverne Nance said he was there when they were telling me.
So it must have been
Take it
fast.
home. Huh?
It must have been fast if it was
It was pretty
outlawed.
fast, but they decided not to let us run it because it was built out of aluminum too big.
Oh,
The car
too light.
Yeah, well, the car was just, it wasn't going to work. Different things broke off of it. The rear torsion tube twisted out. The car was originally driven by Fred Linder, and it was built by Laverne Nance.
Jeez.
So the Nance aluminum car, there was only one that actually raced in competition. This was it. And when Fred Linder brought it back, he gave it to Nance and said, "You probably shouldn't run this thing. It may not be safe." So Nance just parked it. And about that time, and then they built him a steel frame. About that time, I was coming up wanting to race, and Laverne said, "Well, Shane will drive it. He doesn't care." So I ended up in it.
Yep.
And we took it to Knoxville a couple of times, and that last time they said, "You can't run that car anymore. It's not safe." So
Cool thing
went
is you
through an
still got
auction.
it.
A friend of mine that was my mechanic at the time, Tim Carlson.
Yep.
He actually bought the car from the auction, and he took it back to Snohomish, Washington, to restore. And it sat back there for 10 or 15 years. And finally he said, "If you would come get this, maybe you could do something with it."
Yep.
So that's what I'm doing now. And
So next time I see you, this will be done.
Yeah, I hope you're right.
What's behind the bathroom door? Like, is the bathroom? Look at all that stuff in
It's
there.
pretty much normal, you know.
Really?
A lot of race stuff, and girl stuff.
Wow, there's the old Steel Dreams poster, the Brooke Tatnell car back in the
You might
day.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, there's about 4 things that I.
Yeah.
Jessica Zemkin there as well. Aaron Crocker. Now we're catching up with Aaron.
Oh, yeah.
I feel bad that we're in the bathroom talking about Aaron here at the moment. But we are catching up with Aaron and Ray I think on Friday of the Nationals for the road to Knoxville.
That'll be
So
excellent.
there's some cool stuff in here. You could spend a while in here, that's for sure. Jimmy Oski, very cool.
Yep.
Thank you for introducing me to Jimmy.
You bet.
He was every bit as colourful as you said he was going to be.
Like him.
Mate, I can't thank you enough for this. You and I, it's 20 years ago that I was in Yukon.
Yep.
Your daughter was the age of her daughter at that time.
Yep.
That is just crazy. Dust, desire, and speed. Thank you, mate. Looking forward to catching you up with you at the Hall of Fame and museum as well, because you spend a lot of time there. And
I'll be there every day. We're doing the autograph sessions in the Bob Jostle Garage, and I hope you'll be able to make an hour of.
absolutely. Hey, Michael, how cool is this place, mate?
Yeah, there
Unbelievably good. I'll have my books there for my signing, mate, all right? So my America books will be there, so maybe you can sign a few of them for me.
I'll do that.
Thank you. See you, Rosalind.
Hey.
Do you know that your pop's a legend?
Yes.
Good answer. Good answer.
Get ready, Toowoomba. It's time to take the wraps off a brand new season at High Tech Oil's Toowoomba Speedway. Saturday night, September 28th. It's the Carnival of Power with the first round of the USC Queensland Sprint Cars, plus monster trucks and fireworks. Lock in the date of a brand new season of Speedway on the High Tech High Banks, Saturday night, September 28th.
Yes, the greatest show in town.
September is a month to remember, so get ready to race. Check out ToowoombaSpeedway.com for more.
So I'm here at Olympic Park Speedway in beautiful Mildura, Victoria, right on the Murray River. We're literally like right next to the river, and I'm here with Aaron and Teagan Hartwig, who would be one of the very few brother and sister sidecar combinations in Australia. Are there many others?
I believe there's one other one in New South Wales, yep.
Okay.
Only one.
How long have you guys been doing this?
Well, we were sort of, Aaron got a Pee-wee under the Christmas tree when he was old enough to be able to sit on one, and it sort of all started from there. The Speedway bike itself was when I was 12, Aaron would have been 14.
Yep.
In the juniors, yep.
Okay. So did you get the hand-me-down Pee-wee, or did you get your own?
Hand-me-down everything.
Oh, Jesus.
Lucky.
Hey? Bloody hell. So obviously this is your little sister.
Yeah.
Most guys are not that keen on hanging out with their little sister, but yours is a bit of a badass.
Yeah, mine's pretty cool. No, we get along great, so there's not too much that we haven't been through or haven't done together, so it's great like that. I couldn't ask for a better swinger, a better passenger. I once had an old guy tell me that a female passenger will only do what they need to do and not cause too much havoc on the bike for you, and Teagan does exactly what she needs to do when she needs to do it. So it's awesome to have someone without an ego on the back, definitely.
You can throw your sunglasses back on now, because I know you're getting smashed here at the moment. Mate, these things, to the outside world, there's 0.05% of people on the planet that would want to ride these things. But it's actually in your blood, isn't it? The pair of you have it in your blood, because your great uncle, Brian Schultz, was one of the greats of South Australian racing.
Yeah, that's right. So Dad didn't do much on a motorbike. It was more go-karts, and Aaron, I think it's Aaron's love for it when he was really young was what actually got me into it. Obviously, was crazy about motorbikes, and you know, everything that we started to do when we were kids was just revolved around it. So yeah, we've never really stopped, and it'll always be something we'll have a big passion about.
I never really planned to race Speedway sidecars, as it was more, we used to come and watch a little bit, and there was only ever two things that sort of got the hair on the back of my neck to stand out, and one was sprint cars and one was sidecars. So I don't know, I remember as a kid just thinking that these guys are absolute gladiators, and and I never really thought we'd get into it, but things evolved and we went from motocross sidecars into this, and yeah, it's awesome, love it.
Obviously, you know, your great uncle was tragically killed in a race at Port Pirie many years ago. There are dangers in this sport, just like anything that you do. How do you approach that sort of thing? I mean, you've got a personal reminder of the dangers of the sport, Teagan, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know, when we had our first big crash, Dad sort of said, like, what are you going to go do back to playing netball? And I sort of laughed and went, you know, that's what we do. We take this risk, and we know that that fence is there, or that arm or leg or whatever can be broken. And I think that's part of the thrill. Like, you know, every time you get on that bike, something could go really wrong, and I think that's what makes it exciting. Well, that's what makes it exciting for me. So.
Aaron told me a story about how you were all glammed up. You basically come from, was it your Deb or the Formal or something like that? She's rolled in the pretty dress and gone out in the ambulance.
Yeah.
What was all that about?
Do you want to tell it? It's your story, really.
So yeah, Year 12 Formal fell on the same date as a big meeting in Renmark, and obviously only team from the Riverland, so
had to make it.
Yeah, you can't not represent your town, and I guess Speedway meant a bit more to me than being at a prom or something like that. So spent the money on the dress, did that well, left there, obviously got up to Renmark, yeah, and that all ended badly, but at the end of the day I finished doing what I still loved, and yeah, I was carrying my dress in one hand, my Kevlars on, and I thought that was a bit of an image, but that's just who I am, I guess.
Now your boyfriend, of course, your other half races as well, so you actually race against your boyfriend.
Yep.
How's that go for you, mate?
Yeah, I definitely get, well, if we're behind, I definitely get punched in the ribs a couple of times to twist that throttle a little harder, but yeah, we try not to let that happen too much.
This is really in your blood, you guys. Like, you live and breathe it, don't you?
Yep. Definitely. Dad always used to say, when we used to do the motocross sidecar rounds, and we used to do 5 rounds of SA, the Victorian titles, and 5 rounds of the SA titles, and we'd stop in a town and get fuel, and I would get in the trailer and get on the bike, and while we, as much as we could get on it as we did. So, you know, that's just sort of how it's been.
Yeah, definitely. And it's sort of, I think, the bit, not many people understand, but I said to Dad and I, we were in the shed one day, and I think that personally for myself, the riding is only really, 50%. The other 50% is, learning how to build your own engines, how to do cam timing, doing things on the lathe. Like we make our own hubs and lace them up, so we learn how to lace wheels, make all our own fiberglass, build our own engines, build our own chassis. There's not too many people that I think, personally, I don't know, probably only a handful that do that type of thing. So for us, it's not because, to start off with, it's because of the money. Like, it's an expensive sport, just like anything. So we bought the first one, and then we made our own from there. And that's the only way we've been able to stay doing it, is to try and do things ourselves and cut the cost as much as we can. So
explain, people who haven't seen sidecar racing before, you're generally 4 bikes side by side at the lights, at the tapes. You're over 1,000 cc, and you're missing something fundamental down here.
There is no brakes whatsoever.
And people say that it would be dangerous if they had brakes. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah, I do think so. It's really not a big deal. They run 15-to-1 compression, so it's a lot of compression. So 1,000 cc with 15-to-1, you roll off the gas, it stops pretty quick just with the sheer compression. It's actually The hardest thing is when you're actually running through the pits, nice and slow, and that's the hardest thing to stop is then.
Yeah, because they're fairly cumbersome.
It's because you don't have that engine brake. So the brakes thing is not really a big deal because brakes make you go slower.
Sometimes you'd love them, but
there's been a few times they would have come in handy, I can tell you. But
yeah, it sounds exciting.
So a short, sharp answer here. I race sidecars because
I love doing it with the family. I love doing it with sister. Yeah.
I race sidecars because
I love laying in the dirt, going fast, all those kind of things.
Your sister's a badass.
Yeah.
That's all we have time for on today's show. It was an absolute beauty today. I think we're getting more and more excited with every stone we turn, every story we tell, and every person that we meet. On tomorrow's program, Andy Hillenburg and his passion for American classic cars. What a collection. What a super cool guy. There'll be some awesome Australian content as well, including a bit of a chat about B&S Earthworks Timmer Speedway in Mildura, Victoria. And we might even catch up with a New Zealand outlaw nitro funny car driver named Morris McMillan. Plenty to come on the show tomorrow. That's The Road to Knoxville on Speed Stories. Don't forget to like, share and tag and get on board.